that I can so quickly fall into. So I've been there, especially in the beginning, right? I was showing up, I was dialing, I was, trying to stay really consistent, but it felt like my efforts weren't really adding up. Yes, I was booking appointments, half of them no showed. I was closing some policies, but I was nowhere near to where I thought I should be, right? Like those quotes with that should be. Have you ever shoulded yourself? Like it's a bad habit, right? I kept thinking like it should be easier by now. I remember talking to Anna and be like, I should be better at this. Like, why am I not better at this? This is going so much slower than I thought. What I didn't realize is I was kind of living in this mental trap. I was only measuring myself, like where I was and where I thought I should be, right? Like that gap that was there. And that mindset, you guys, if you are in that mindset, it will wear you down. It will just it will just kind of destroy all the confidence, any momentum that you're possibly building. So what kind of changed everything? And now I'm looking, I know I've learned how to look back and not just forward of like where I need to go, right? But actually see how far I've come. It's not perfect and it hasn't been quickly. If Jim were on here, he would always be saying like, I'm always like, yeah, but when's it going to happen? When's it going to happen? And that's my classic, when's this going to move quicker? But it's definitely forward. So you can't see your true progress if you're only measuring against that ideal that you think you should be. So you really have to kind of reflect where you've started, and how far you come, and kind of having those little victories. So let's be really honest and really real here. Like we can get these pictures in our mind of the perfect agent, 30,000, 30,000 a month, building a huge team, leading calls, always upbeat, super excited. But in real life, it doesn't always look like that, right? Maybe this is you, like you hit 6,000, but your goal on that accountability sheet was 10,000, so you feel like a failure, right? You book 12 appointments and you only hold 5. You're disappointed in that. And you completely ignore the fact that last month you only booked 6, or last week you only booked 6. You're completely forgetting that. It's kind of getting caught into that, like, the leaderboard syndrome of constantly like chasing that, or maybe it's like the highlight reel, like you can see that on Instagram or Facebook where you're only showing your highlights, right? And we compare ourselves to our own best version of ourselves, or maybe someone else, and you're only seeing the highlights there. And that really robs you of the joy and the growth that you're having in that moment. So instead of kind of beating yourself up, what if you started to look at your week this way? I made more dials than I did last week. I held more appointments. Or even you guys, sometimes you just have those days where it's like, okay, I'm on here right now and I did not want to get up, right? I didn't even want to show up. That's how you can kind of stay encouraged, and that's how you can start to build that momentum. So stop comparing with up, look at where you've come and your own progress. And that's where that confidence is going to start to build. You're going to start to have like joy in your day, and you're going to be really, really excited about this. So right around the time I was like wrestling with this, I was really feeling, and this is like very recent, feeling like I wasn't measuring up, constantly frustrated with my numbers, constantly frustrated with, when's this going to happen, all of the kind of things. And I was talking to Christina Watts, my good friend, and I was like, okay, I'm stuck. And I just remember saying, I was like, I feel like I'm stuck in this mental loop. And she's like, okay, have you read that book I told you to read, which is The Gap and the Gain? And I was like, no, but I literally downloaded it right before I called you. And she's like, okay, start listening to it. And so I did. And if you guys don't know this book that I'm kind of speaking on today, it's The Gap and the Gain, Dan Sullivan and Benjamin Hardy. Wilbur, I'm with you. I am like the biggest Benjamin Hardy fan. I've read 3 books in a row of his. I highly, highly recommend it. He is transforming this right here in between my ears. And it's so, so good. So if you haven't read it, like go get it. But I'm going to talk to you about kind of the basic idea about that. So the basic idea is where you're focusing on how far you still have to go. Okay, that's the gap. And how far you've already come is the gain. And after I kind of started to get this concept, I literally texted Christine and I was like, okay, I've been living in the gap. She's like, yep, see, told you. I told you. And I'm like, I was. And the language hit me so hard because I was just 100% in the gap. And so I was measuring myself against where I thought I should be instead of recognizing all of the growth that I've actually achieved. It's so funny because other people can look at your business and they see all of the growth. We look at our business and we only see where we wish we were or where we think we should be. Okay, so even as we hit some big milestones, like in our business, like we key leader, top producer, agency owner, agency director, like all of the things, something in me, and I talked about this a few weeks ago or a month ago when I was on here, but I started like pulling back from my business. I didn't even really notice it, but I stopped showing up on the accountability call. I told myself I was busy, right? I was focusing on building my agency. I had all these new agents, had to put these systems in place, all this big picture stuff that we can just, it could just bog us down, right? It's not really reality. But if I'm honest with myself, I didn't want to see the numbers. I wasn't proud of them. My ego was so much louder than my purpose, right? And it was because like when they explain in the book, in The Gap in the Gain, they explain that living in the gap measures against our ideals, and our ideals are a constant moving target. This hit me really big. So it's constantly moving. So I hit something and I'm like, okay, yeah, but we got to go here, right? Yeah, but we got to go here. And it's like chasing the horizon. That mental picture of a constant moving target and chasing the horizon, you're never going to get to the horizon, right? You're never going to get there. So in the meantime, while I'm chasing this ideal of where I think I should be, or I'm chasing this horizon where I'm never going to get, I'm missing all of the gains, right? I'm missing all of the real, the measurable progress, maybe the promotions, maybe the fact that, I held 6 appointments this week and last week I only held 4. Measurable progress that I started to recognize for myself at that stage that was just really just like a month ago, was when I started to measure the progress. I had leaders that were growing. I had agents that were producing. I had families that were being protected. We had people coming to our accountability breakout every morning. And this couldn't be seen because that's not what I wasn't focusing on that. Right. And truthfully, I was just kind of embarrassed by my numbers before. And so when I kind of made this shift, it changed everything. So if you guys are here today and maybe you're feeling like a little bit stuck, right? You're doubting yourself, you're overwhelmed, maybe you're brand new and you're just like, oh my gosh, I'm looking at these numbers. This is insane. I'm never going to measure up to so-and-so. I'm never going to measure up to this. Don't retreat, okay? Keep showing up. That's why I kind of wanted to tell you guys, like, if you're here today, this is a win. Like, give yourself a win today. But start asking yourself, like, where was I 30 days ago? 60 days, 90 days. I know for us, like Joe and I, at the end of this month, this is going to be our 2-year anniversary. I think it's like on the 28th or 27th that we got our license and started here. And if I really look at that 2 years, there's been I can only live in the gains, right? I can't live in the gaps there. So in the book, Dan Sullivan talks about how you're only allowed to measure backwards. That's where you're really truly going to reclaim that momentum. That's where you're going to move from being so discouraged to so determined. You guys already have past wins. Everybody's got past wins in their life, and that's proof that you guys can do this. And it's a reminder to see how far you've come. And so I really want you guys to kind of focus on that. Okay. All right. So the other thing with this business, it kind of resets every month, right? Put a 2 in the chat if you're like, okay, great, it's June, now I have to start all over. Like I can kind of fall into that. It's like, okay, I'm starting from 0 every 30 days. This is super fun. And that's why I think the way you think about your progress matters so much, right? Because you can fall into that. It's not a 0, right? Like you're not starting over. You guys are light years of way, ahead of where you were 30 days ago. So if you wait to feel good only when the numbers hit, you're just always going to feel behind. So what helped me was starting to kind of start to track my progress and not just the production, right? We all put those production numbers down of our goals on our sheet. In our agency, we have a production goal, a minimum that we're going to hit no matter what. And then we've got that stretch goal, right? But what if in between there, you started to kind of track the progress that you're making? Did I dial today? Even if no one answered, that's a win, right? Like Anna shared that she was live dialing. She's like, okay, great. I made 67 dials and nobody answered. Like you showed up, you dialed, that's a win. Did I hold one more appointment than I did last week? Win. Did I coach someone on my team to help get them through a policy? You guys, that's a huge win. Those are small little actions that are going to build brick by brick something that's going to last. So something you can try is like track the actions, right? Track the calls, the contacts, the follow-ups, not just that 10,000 goal that you have on that accountability sheet. You can celebrate daily, consistently. Just not that monthly closing. Like you can have those daily wins, like shout it out. I don't know if you've got GroupMe or Slack, your agency owner will love you for this. Come in, we'll love you in the Mac room. Come in and shout out those wins. Like put those bells up. Let us know that you're winning. Also share the imperfect wins. Like normalize this grind. That's what leadership is. You're going to build the momentum by focusing on what you're doing right. Those little wins are going to start to stack, and let the actions stack, not just the outcomes. And that's where it's going to be really proof in your progress. Okay. So I'm going to give you guys some tools to kind of start to think about. Here's where it gets a little bit fun and a little bit practical. And I've been playing around with this and it works and I love it. And this is from the book, so go read the book. But I want you guys to do this before you go to bed. Write down 3 wins that went well today. And anything counts, you guys. It can be, I got on the accountability call. I booked 2 appointments. I got out of my funk and I made my dials. I showed up on my team huddle. It can be I wrote a policy, whatever it is, but write down 3 wins, okay? Then you're gonna write down 3 wins that you're going to have tomorrow. And be very specific. This is where it gets really, really cool. Like I'll protect a family, right? I will help an agent book their first appointment. I'll show up with energy on the call. I know last night it was like, I'm going to come to the accountability call. I'm going to give it my best, right? And this is why you're going to do this, okay? Because your brain is going to keep working on what you feed it. So while you sleep, the subconscious is going to start to get to work on that list. It's going to start to like when you're sleeping, your mind is going to win. You're going to wake up focusing on those wins that you already have planned, and you're going to train your brain to start to notice this growth instead of the gaps. Okay. And this works. I'm going to tell you just a quick little story. I know I'm running out of time. Yesterday I was having a gap day, and Joe, you can put a 5 in the chat because you know that was the facts. It was just kind of one of those days where it was like something beyond my control, but it was just a tough day. And I spent the morning working on that. And then I got busy and I started to do my dials, pick up the phone. Velma was on the other end. And if your lead's name is Velma, you know, you're going to have like a really good talk with Velma because every Velma is amazing. We have a really great conversation. I'm able to go ahead and write her a policy. We get it approved through Americo. Huge win, right? I mean, I hadn't talked to her. It was a one call close. It was amazing. She thanked me. She's like, you were so sweet and all of the things. The night before had put that on my win list. So you guys, this works. And I literally hung up the phone and I was like, well, holy cow, like I'm having a total gap moment. And then all of a sudden I get to doing the activity and then I'm back to the game. So you guys will start to notice this in your day. It's like, okay, well, if I start to hear my voice in the head spiraling, I got to pull myself back. And so one of the things I kind of do, I'm like, all right, is this a gap moment or am I living in the gain? So really watch your words. I know in our agency huddles, we have There's no cussing allowed. You can't say hope. You can't say try. I'm not there yet. You gotta change that wording to like, I'm getting closer every day. I will book those appointments. I am going to write that policy. And then the other thing that I think would take this up a notch for everybody here, grab a buddy in here and text those. Maybe you're not doing it in a journal, but maybe you're texting it to each other. Find somebody to text your 3 wins for today. Hey, this is what went really well. This is what's going to go to well tomorrow. And I think that's just so powerful. If you're married, maybe you're doing it to your spouse or whatnot. So your homework tonight is to write down those 3 wins for today and then write down those 3 wins for tomorrow. Let those guide your sleep, shape your mindset for the next day. You guys, I promise it will rewire your brain. So I really just want to leave you with just some words. Like, you're not behind, you're just becoming. You're not failing, you're just learning, and you're not stuck. You're actually moving. So keep tracking the wins, keep showing up here, and believe that the best is coming, you guys, because it is. You've got this, and I know we're going to go out and just win together. So thank you guys. That's what I've got for you this morning. I hope that was helpful, but I also just, like, from all the leaders on here, like, we believe in you guys so much. So go out there and make it a great day. Live in the gain, not the gap. Okay, you guys. Hopefully somebody's got breakouts. If you guys are new here, down, and if you're on your phone, I think it's the top left-hand corner. You can grab the breakout room. You're going to go to your nearest agency owner. If you're on your laptop, it's in the little more box, I believe, to the breakout rooms. So go now to your breakout room, and you guys have an awesome day.
Where's that? Where's the breakout room
at? So are you on your laptop?
Yes.
So for me, there's a little icon, there's 4 little boxes of breakout rooms down at the bottom, the little menu, right next to the chat button.
Okay, it just says join breakout room. Okay, thank you.
You got it?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. Good morning, Larson Group. Good to see you guys as always. All right. Hopefully we got some practice in last night or this morning, one of the two. Hopefully you guys were able to get some in. That's going to be the biggest key. If you really want to make sure you're getting some form of a result throughout these 4 weeks, we got to make sure we're getting some form of practice in outside of these 15 to 30 minutes each day. So that's the biggest key. If you don't, you're not going to see drastic results just by showing up for 15 minutes a day. I wish, trust me, I'd have a much larger agency. 15 minutes isn't going to cut it. You got to find more time outside. But I'm going to take a quick look at this sheet. I just realized I didn't do that yet. Contacts, 12 and 3, perfect. 1 and 4, 1 and 2, 1 and 7, depending on the lead, that might not be off at all. 1 and 2, perfect. 0 and 10 is, if Cecilia's in here, I want to role play with you today. 1 and 2, 1 and 1 with 0 dials. James, you're a wizard. You got to change your name to Harry. 0 dials and you booked an appointment? Man, I need to figure out your wizardry. 1 and 3, yeah, that's perfect. This one doesn't have contacts. That's okay. Jenny needs to be teaching this. Talk to 2 people, book 3 appointments. Good golly. Some wizards in here. All right, I like it. 4 and, oh wow, 4 contacts, 3 appointments. Lauren, you crushed it. Good job. 3 and 2, Elizabeth, great job. 3 contacts, 2 appointments. Sarah, oh yeah, what's that? 1 and 2, yeah, that's great. Marcel could be right on the numbers, depending on the leads with 6 contacts there. Claudia, 1 and 1, yeah, perfect. And then Ace. All right, so I know I'd love to talk to Ace and role play today. And what was the other name I said? I got to go back already. Which page was it on? There's so many pages. Someone knows the name I said. Cecilia, that's what it was. Is Cecilia an ace here? Maybe not. Well, that makes me feel great. Their numbers are maybe. Oh, Cecilia's here. Woo! There we go. All right, let's do it, Cecilia. All right. Do do you, are you willing to role play live? Maybe, maybe not.
Yes, I'm able to role play live. I also have my son with me, so he makes
Hey,
noise.
that's
I'm
okay.
sorry.
You got a client right on your lap. There you go.
Yeah.
Perfect. All right. So let's role play this script. Everyone else's numbers, your numbers look spot on. I don't see anything off at all. I'm not really looking too much at Saturday and Sunday because it's not a really true indicator because we didn't start till Monday. So I'm really looking at Monday, Tuesday, really right now just Tuesday, but really looking at Monday, Tuesday to make sure we're on for the numbers. But let's role play Cecilia and move you to the front of my screen so I can actually see you. Boom. All right. Let's role play through the script. I don't really care what script you're using. Let's just walk through whatever you're doing, and we're just gonna go through, and I'll stop you when I stop. Typically, once we ask like, "Hey, what's your age?" That's typically where we stop, depending on your script, or maybe that last question in the paragraph, wherever you stop and wait for a response. That's typically about where we stop. But let's walk through that. If you need to physically get it, you can do that, or if you haven't memorized, good. You just let me know when you're ready.
Okay. Yeah, I have it here.
All right. So I'm gonna be the client. You're gonna be the agent. All right.
Okay.
So ring, ring. Hello.
Hi, is this Ashton?
Yeah. This is Ashton.
Hi, Ashton. This is Cecilia Wise with Quility. I'm getting back to you regarding a request that we had received to assist you with some life insurance options. And we're just calling to verify the information that was provided so we can get those options out to you. It shows here that we have you as age 57. Is that correct?
Good. So in the beginning, really fast, and then you slow down.
Yeah.
So in the beginning, you're like, "Hey, is Ashton? Yes, hey, Ashton. This is Cecilia Wise with Quilty Insurance. I'm calling about that request you made," and then you slowed yourself down. So I don't know if you caught yourself. That's just normally how you do it.
Yeah,
But
I normally try to slow down at the beginning. I think it was just nerves at being on
yeah.
camera, but yeah, that's I
So that speed at the end, like after that little first part, that good speed.
okay.
That's the speed we want. That's your normal conversation. I'm gonna give
Mhm.
you the same advice I gave someone yesterday. I can't remember who it was. I just don't see him on this first screen. But that physical smile. So it's the same thing. Like I was telling them, like, hey, we just got to sound a little happier. Right
Okay.
now, we're just like, hey, this is Celia. I know you're gonna be like the other 13 people. Just go ahead and tell me no. Calling about your request. If you want to give me some information. That's what we're like. I don't
Mhm.
think that's your natural personality. Same thing like
No.
I told Lou, like I need you to be more you. We need
Mhm.
more you coming through. When we say low and slow, the number one thing it really means is just be yourself.
Right.
Don't try to be something else. Don't try to sound like you're reading a piece of paper. And look at that, funny and sparkly. There we go. That's what we need. So obviously we don't go over the top like, hey Ash, and that might be your personality. But
Yeah.
we just go, all right, like we just gotta like, hey, like I really like what I do. Like this is really fun. I get to be at home. I don't have to be away from my kids. I don't have to go
Mhm.
put them in daycare. Like this is great. I get to do this and this is fun. Like that's like I need that to come through on the phone
Okay.
because that's going to be a massive help. The intro, let's just start there. I don't want to change anything. Anytime I like to make changes, anytime I'm doing anything, I like to make one to maybe two and focus on that before we do anything else. As you guys do anything in your sales process, that's the
Okay.
same thing with my sale. So when I started doing a bunch of NEPQ, I started changing one part. Everything else was the same. Then I changed another part. Everything else was the same. Then until I got all the way integrated. But let's go back through this intro. Again, I'm going to be the client, you're going to be the agent. So ring, ring. Hello.
Hello, is this Ashton?
Yeah. This is Ashton. Who's this?
Hi, Ashton. This is Cecilia Wise with Quility. I'm getting back to you regarding a request that we had received to assist you with life insurance options. We just need to verify the
Kyle.
information that was provided so that we can get those options out to you.
All right. So I want you to try it again. I want you to physical smile on your face the whole time. So if you weren't in here yesterday, this is literally what I'm talking about. So right now, I'm obviously just talking normal. So this is more of my normal speaking tone. It's going to be a little bit more down, a little bit more like this. This is kind of how I just naturally talk. But when I go to the phone, I have to make sure to lift my voice up because this is my natural tendency. So if I don't know how to just turn that switch in my head, the way to make yourself physically do it is by physically
smiling.
putting a smile on your face. If you do that, it's going to feel really weird, but you can already hear the difference in my voice. I'm not changing my voice. My voice is the exact same. Just this physical characterization is changing the way that my voice sounds. And then once you know how to do that, you'll be able to mentally do that. Oh, I'm not doing that. Oh, hey, yeah, this is Ashton. I'm calling about that mortgage over on 123 Candy Cane Lane. Now I can do it without physically making myself smile really weird. But that's what I had to do in the beginning until I got it. So let's do make yourself physically smile, and we're gonna go through the script. So ring ring. Hello?
Hello, is this Ashton?
Yeah, this is Ashton.
Hi, Ashton. This is Cecilia Wise with Quility. I'm getting back to you regarding a request that we had received to assist you with life insurance options. We just need to verify the information that was provided, and so we can get those options out to you.
Perfect. That you see everyone out, like your voice sounds 20 times different.
Yeah, I can
So-
hear it.
So that's a lot better. And this is like a great example of when I say like, hey, like record things so you know when you do it right, so you can play it back later and go, hey, do I sound like that? So
Mhm.
the sound, that's what we need right there. If we sound like that, we're gonna have a good difference when we're dialing. So that right there is huge. Um, Only other thing is in that intro. Again, I don't mind if you say quality or um uh symmetry or whatever. That's fine. Or read that back to me again. Go ahead. You don't have to worry about smiling. Just read back your intro again. I'll stop you.
This is Cecilia Wise with Quility. I'm getting back to you regarding a request we had received to assist you with life insurance options. We just need to verify the information provided to get those options out to you.
Got it. Okay. And what kind of leads are you working? Is this like
Uh,
mortgage
it's
protection or general
digital economy A leads.
digital economy? And I'm assuming these are general life. They're not like mortgage protection.
It's a mix. So when they come in, it's mixed mortgage protection and life insurance.
Okay. Um. So the way I would change it a little bit is I just change when we mention insurance. So for instance, when do most people hang up on you? So like I know we had, what was it so far this week? We've had like 15 contacts. So on those 15 people, where are they hanging up?
Honestly, lately I haven't been getting many hang up. It's more just like not interested, and
Okay.
then we
So I
don't
don't want
get
to
the
change anything then.
appointment.
And this is why I asked. So
I
I always tell people, prescription without diagnosis is malpractice.
mhm,
If you think about the medical field. If I
right,
tell you, hey, go do that, and I don't understand the whole situation yet, that's horrible advice on my side. So
right.
I actually wouldn't change anything. Strike what I was about to say. Besides your voice, like again, like what we just talked
Yeah,
about, do what we're talking about there. I wouldn't change any
right.
of the wording in your script. Because if no one's hanging up in the intro, like you're having
Mhm,
conversations, I think we're okay. And we'll see how we come next week.
okay.
If these numbers change over the next few days. Because if not, they could still be giving you if all they say is not interested, the wording could be causing a little bit of the um um resistance. There we go. I don't know why I blanked on that word. That could be causing a little bit of resistance. But right now, I don't want to change anything else. So when they say not interested, what is your response? Oh yeah, thanks. Yeah, I'm not interested. What do you say?
I usually just say, okay, yeah, that's no problem. What was it that had you looking in the first place?
Yeah, solid response. I like that. And what do they say then?
And they'll just tell me, oh, I just saw an ad, or oh, we were thinking about it, but doesn't look like we can afford it at the moment. When they say something like that, I'll usually just ask them, okay, that's no problem. We have a lot of people that happens to. Would you like us to reach out in a couple days or in a week or so?
Mm,
And kind of just ask more questions, at least to get them on the phone. But
okay.
I'm sure there's something else I could do at that
Yeah.
point that would help.
So does who thinks they know maybe what needs to change or get fixed? We're gonna call on someone. Someone just unmute and tell me what do you think it is and why?
Maybe instead of just saying like, yeah, I'll reach out in a few days, be like, yeah, I get that. A lot of the families that I help maybe feel the same way, but I've often found that it's less expensive than your Starbucks habit because I have it right here in front of me. But like it, I'd be happy to look into options and see if we might be able to help you find something that works within your budget.
Yeah, so that's a solid answer. I like it. You know, that the biggest part is one, like, hey, if you'd like, I can go do this. You know, I can call you back later. You're giving them an option to hang up on you right now.
Mm-hmm.
Like, hey, if you want, you can hang up on me. Would you like that? Or would you like to keep talking and I can sell you insurance? Like that's what you're saying. Like,
Right.
at least to them. And so they're going, yeah, I like that option. Yeah, I'd love to hang up. Thank you. So what we do at that point, and they go, oh yeah, I looked at it and it was just way too expensive. One, let's figure out what it is. Oh, okay. So like someone already came out and they already went over options with you guys. Yeah. Gosh. Okay. How much were they telling you it was going to cost? Get a little bit more information. I don't care what they tell you. Oh, man, they said it was going to be like 3 pennies. 3 pennies? Why in the world was it so expensive? Goodness gracious. Yeah, no, I thought it was kind of expensive too. That's why I told you we can't afford it. Yeah, I mean, what they ask for your left kidney too? Good golly. Man. Yeah, I thought so. Yeah, I mean, and I always ask this next question very specifically because no one in the world does this. I mean, Celia, you're over there like chain smoking on me? Like, what's going on? No, I smoke like 3 packs a day, but I don't chain smoke. No, no one chain smokes, no matter how much they smoke. Now, if you ask, oh, what do you use? Tobacco? Oh, yeah, I do. Oh, that must be it. Click. So I ask it a very specific way because no one does it.
Mm-hmm.
I've never met a single person that admits they chain smoke, no matter how much they smoke. Yeah, I only smoke a little bit. It's like a pack. Well, you go through a pack a day. That's a lot. But no one admits to chain smoking. So that's why I asked. Like, oh yeah, no, I don't chain smoke. No, yeah, that rate must be crazy. Oh, okay. Yeah, like any other medical. And now I'm just going through the medical. I'm back to the script. The thing is, every time I'm asking a question, I'm leading them where I want. So anytime you ask a question, no matter it's dialing or appointment, you always need to ask yourself, and this is everyone, you need to ask yourself, am I leading them where I want them to go? And if your question doesn't, it's a horrible question. And you got to change it. And that's anywhere in the sales process. So when you break down your own sales process, if your question isn't leading them where you want, you need to change it. And you got to ask yourself, what's a better question to ask? Like I know I've coached a few of you guys now. A lot of times when we get in that intro, like, hey, do you have a few minutes to talk now? Is now okay? Is now a good time to chat? Are you free now? That question doesn't lead me where I want to go. Because another way you do your sales mapping is anytime you ask a question, you should know the answer, every answer you're going to get, and every response you should give. Are you free now? Yes. Okay. Well, here's what I'm going to say. No. Well, I'm screwed. But you know, like, all right, like, you know, if I ask a question, like, what are all the answers I'm going to get and all the responses I can give? Like, that's how you go super in depth to make this thing a machine in a sense. So again, going back to your part there, like right on that objection, the resistance we're giving ourselves is, hey, if you want, I can go do this. If you don't mind. It's like, no. Oh, it's too expensive. Oh, okay. How much were they telling you it was going to cost? How much were they trying to charge you? I like to say that one because, again, charge is negative. No one likes to be charged anything. Oh, yeah. That's why I always want to, oh, I already have coverage in place. Okay. What's the company? Did you get the entire like 300,000 for the mortgage put in place? Okay. How much are they charging you a month for that? I'm already mentally associating negative with what they have. And It works. Like I think some of you heard me. I think on Monday I booked it. I think it was Monday. I booked an appointment with someone named Dolores, and they're like, "Yeah, I pay a little. I want some additional." And she's like, "I don't know what I have now. Let's get some more coverage." So we got a policy for 194. Yeah, it was Monday. 194. Called her back on Tuesday. Said, "Hey, let's review those other policies." She's like, "I got $50 here, $90 there, and $90 there." I'm not the sharpest drawer in the knife, but when we called that company, when they said you're paying $500 a month, 90 plus 50 plus 90 doesn't equal 500. And we called American Amicable. She had 3 there, 2 terms and a whole life. And like, yeah, you're paying $430 a month for 2 terms and a whole life. And I said, "Did you know that?" She's like, "No." It's like, "All right, want to find something better?" Yeah. Because now altogether she's paying $620 a month, my policy plus those. And she's like, "Yeah, well, what if we just did something?" Like, I don't like that those are all terms. What if we just converted this to permanent? I said, "Okay, great." And we found the one she liked. We're either doing 420 or 520, and we're finishing that today. And we found those policies because we said, "Hey, what do we have? Man, what are they charging you a month? Wow, like that's expensive." She goes, "Yeah, I kind of thought it was, but I just didn't think there was any other options. They just told me that was the best." I was like, "Yeah, I mean, maybe they just didn't have access to other options, but I never want to talk super negative. Like maybe it's their cousin that got them insurance. I'm not going to talk super negative. Yeah, maybe they just didn't have like the best options, or like sometimes people kind of just do what's best for their pocket sometimes. But let's give them benefit. Maybe they just didn't have the other options available. But yeah, this just doesn't look right. We can definitely we'll give them a call. I want to verify, you have exactly what you think you have. None of the coverages amounts were what you thought either. So yeah, I think one's 50, one's 90, and the other's like 20. Well, the whole life was 12. It wasn't 20. And then her 2 terms were actually 126. So she had more than she thought. Like nothing she thought was right. No client ever knows their policies ever. I've literally had, I could probably count on one hand over 5 years how many people actually knew exactly what they had and they were right. So replacements can be huge for you guys. I did like last year I wrote 280, and I would probably tell you about 240 of the 280 was replacements of people that had bad policies, and we got them something better. They thought they had something and they didn't. That's a huge part of helping people get coverage in place, at least for me. But Cecilia, other than that, it's great. Focus on that tone. That tone is going to help you be better, and we should get most of those issues through. And we should be getting some more appointments booked. I know on those, the economy ones, they're lower numbers anyways. I think they're supposed to be closer to like a 1 in 10. So we're really not too far off. So that definitely makes me feel, because it's basically more like working G leads, if I remember correctly from what the stats are supposed to be. So that really doesn't make me feel bad about your numbers at all. Like you're just off by booking 1 appointment. Like
Yeah.
if you had 1 appointment, like you book an appointment in the next like 2 or 3 calls, you're on the numbers.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't feel off about your numbers at all. But I know the other one we were talking about was, I think it was Ace, but I don't think Ace is here, right? No Ace. That's why his numbers are off. No, I don't feel bad. All right, if you want to role play, raise your hand. I'll go a little bit longer. I do have a hard stop at 9. All right, we got Simon again. Let's go. All right. And I did make some edits on that sheet too. I know there's a lot of different things on that script. So if you guys have that script, it should be a little bit more succinct now. I made those changes last night. All right, Simon. We're good for you to unmute when you're ready.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, I kind of I looked at yours and then I cherry picked a little bit from that other one I was showing you to drilled it a little bit how I think it sounds from me.
Perfect. And yes, Hannah,
Okay.
I have it. It was also put in the Bush group yesterday, but oh, there it is. Look at that. Someone already got to it. All right. Perfect. All right, let's do it. I'm here, but as awesome as you are, I want to walk and grab my cup of coffee that's been sitting over there for like 10 minutes. So I'm going to grab that. I'm here. I'm listening. You're on my AirPod, but I'm going to grab this cup of coffee while you start. So ring, ring. Hello?
Is this Ashton?
Yeah, this is Ashton. Who's this?
Hi, Ashton. My name is Simon Matthews. I'm not sure if you're going to remember this. It looks like you put some info in about 3 weeks ago, maybe, looking for mortgage protection. Did you find something or what ended up happening?
Okay. So number one piece here is you got good, like your voice is good. So I like it. You're doing good there. Um, the first, the most major critique in all of this is going to be the end. It sounds a little choppy. We got to get that a little bit more smooth. That last sentence of did you end up finding something or what ended up happening? That's just got to be a little bit more smooth. So, yeah, it looks like you put in some info about possibly looking at life insurance. Right, and this is what you're doing. Did you end up finding something or what ended up happening? I don't know if you're trying to put too much like inquisitive on it, and that's like, a lot of times when we have inquisitive, it starts getting like that. So don't if that's maybe what's happening, like don't think about it too much as opposed to just like asking a normal question in a sense. Like just it's almost better to read it than to go too much into it. But the way it should sound like, hey, about possibly looking at mortgage protection. Did you end up finding something or what ended up happening with it? Did you end up finding something or what ended up happening? I know I got a message in here. Is there more? Yeah, great question for the mortgage protection. If it says life insurance, just change it to mortgage protection. Like that's it. So like in there, like the calling script. Hey, I had a second to get back to you. Probably got quite a few phone calls about this. Or like system value. Looks like you put in some info, possibly looking at mortgage protection. Were you looking for yourself or was this for a loved one? Just change it to mortgage protection. That's it. I mean, you technically still say life insurance, but I mean, mortgage definitely just change it to mortgage protection, and that's it. But after the intro, that honestly shouldn't matter for anywhere else in the script because they should understand that mortgage protection and life insurance are the same thing. So eventually, once you get down to the, like the transition of the why, like why we're looking at like, I guess you could still say mortgage protection there, but at some point they should definitely be pretty clear that mortgage protection and life insurance are the same thing. But let's go through that again, Simon. Again, like focus on the last part, just making it smooth. That's the biggest piece. There was something else in there. I just want to hear it one more time though. But let's run it back. So ring, hello.
Hey, is this Ashton?
Yes.
Hi, Ashton. My name is Simon Matthews. I'm not sure if you're going to remember this. It looks like you put in some info about 3 weeks ago, maybe, looking at mortgage protection. Did you find something or what ended up happening?
You see the last part, or what ended up happening? So like you get like really like I'm punching my words at the end. What ended up happening? It gets like really like broken down. What ended up happening? Like just say it normal, like real quick. Just what ended up happening?
What ended up happening?
Boom. That's how I want it. That's it.
Okay.
So
Yeah,
because
don't
you're making
overthink
like really like punch at the end. Now it was like that the whole sentence. Did you end up finding something like that? That part right there. Did you end up finding something to the end? You were like almost like that. It's getting broken down each word in a sense. But now, like, just make that part smooth. Let's run it back one more time. Everything else is good. It won't hurt to smile. That's not going to hurt at all. I think it could help a lot, and we'll let everyone vote. I won't even like you do the smile, and we'll see what everyone else says. Like, hey, it's better or it's not. I don't know. We'll see. All right. So ring. Hello.
Hi, is this Ashton?
Yeah, this is Ashton. Who's this?
Hi, Ashton. My name is Simon Matthews. I'm not sure if you're going to remember this. Sorry, I'm laughing because how you said
Yeah,
it.
we'll go again. Ring. Hello.
Hi, is this Ashton?
Yeah. This is Ashton. Who's this?
Hey, Ashton. My name is Simon Matthews. I'm not sure if you're going to remember this. It looks like about 3 weeks ago, maybe, you had put in some info for possibly looking at mortgage protection. Did you end up finding something or what ended up happening?
Way better. Everyone's saying way better. That's lifting up. So I think it's also helping you not have that like It almost sounds like the phone's cutting out. Like what ended up happening? It's almost like the phone is cutting out in your voice, basically. I think the smiling one helped that because you didn't have that anywhere. And then the second piece is it definitely lifted up your voice a little bit and sounded a lot better. Only other thing we're gonna the two pieces, this is the more advanced side, is a little bit of pacing and where our tone is for each of the pieces. So we only want to be inquisitive where we're supposed to be inquisitive. We only want to be confused where we're supposed to be confused. So for instance, with that, I shouldn't be confused why I'm calling you. It was probably one of the best piece of advice one of my coaches gave me. It's like, I don't want to be confused on why I'm calling you. I want to be confused on the result. So for instance, I think you're saying, yeah, I think it's this one right here. You're doing the one that says like you already got quite a few phone calls for whatever reason, doesn't look like things get updated. Is that the one you're doing? Is that right? Or
I'm doing I had the Chris Leak script. However, the one that you put in the chat on Monday for your training, that's the one I'm using now, that
Okay.
opener.
Say it again. I know I mixed them together specifically for you. So say it again. Just say, you don't have to worry about doing all the stuff. Just read it real quick so I can say it back.
Hi, Ashton. My name is Simon Matthews. I'm not sure if you're going to remember this. It looks like you put in some info about 3 weeks ago, maybe, looking at mortgage protection.
I got it. I just cut out this one piece right here. Okay, I see what I did. Okay, perfect. All right. So, like, hey, is this John? Like, yeah, that's a question. All right. Hey, this is just Ashton. I apologize. Like, this is more of a statement. I apologize. I'm not sure if you're going to remember this statement. I'm not confused. That's not a question. I apologize. I'm not sure if you're going to remember this. I'm telling you a statement. I don't need to go, I'm not sure if you're going to remember this. I apologize. I'm not sure if you're going to remember this statement. I'm not sure why this didn't get updated. Again, statement. I don't know if that part was in there, but it looks like you put some info in, some information in about, yeah, looks like a month ago. And again, like, I'm not confused. It's more like I got a bunch of papers. Here's a bunch of papers. It's more like I got a bunch of papers and it's like, I'm doing it like this. Yeah, I'm not sure if you're going to remember this. It looks like you put some info in about, yeah, it looks like 3 weeks ago, about possibly looking at some mortgage protection. Yeah, more statement. Looks like you put some info in about like 3 weeks ago about possibly looking at some mortgage protection. What? So what's the next part? Did you end up finding something? Now I'm inquisitive. Did you end up finding something, or what ended up happening with that? But you see, like, the only inquisitive part is really the end. This is kind of where we get to that next level where I talk about, hey, we have to master, has to be smooth. Can't be super fast. Now we're getting to tone. Now we're getting to the third part of the mastering. Where it's a little bit more advanced on that side. So let's do that one more time. Basically, I want everything to just be like, here are statements. And then the last, did you end up finding something? That's when it's a question. So let's walk through that one more time. Remember, smile. Everyone likes you better when you smile. So smile, and then let's go through that.
All right. I'll be smiling Simon on the phones.
There we go. So someone's got to get him a hat or something, a t-shirt. All right. Ring, ring. Hello?
Hi, is this Ashton?
Yeah. This is Ashton. Who's this?
Hi, Ashton. My name is Simon Matthews, and I'm not sure that you're going to remember this. It looks like you put in some info about 3 weeks ago, maybe, looking for some mortgage protection. Did you end up finding something, or what ended up happening?
Good. I think you went back to not smiling. I'm pretty sure. Am I right? Like that was the not smiling voice. Yeah. See, all of us can tell. That's the not smiling voice. Other than that, perfect. Other thing, actually, I'll make one more correction. Don't say my name is. Yeah, the N was perfect too. N was perfect. The voice though, like, you gotta smile. Yeah, you didn't smile the whole time. Like, it wasn't your smiling voice. Whether you smile or not, I don't care if you literally smile. It has to sound like that voice. Don't say my name is. You can say it's Simon. It's just Simon. Because the thing is, I've never gone up. I've never been like, Hey, dude, buddy, James, it's been forever since see ya. My name's Ashton. That'd be so weird if your friend walked up to you like, Simon, hey, how you doing? My name's Ashton. Be weird. So that's adding in more resistance because when someone goes and they formally introduce themselves, formally, I don't know this person, it's a stranger. Whatever they're about to say next determines are they my friend or a telemarketer? Hey, I'm calling about a request. Oh, telemarketer. You introduce, like, I formally introduce, no one that I know formally introduces themselves. That's why we reduce that resistance immediately on the phone psychologically by going, it's just. Even if I just ended there and I waited, I guarantee you, I call these random people. I go like, hey, Simon. Yeah, Simon. Hey, Simon. It's just Ashton. I'm sorry. Who's this? Like, I'm sorry. I don't recognize the number. Be like, oh wait, I'm supposed to know you. Oh, I'm sorry. Remind me who this is, or I didn't save the number. I apologize. Like that's the response you would get. Besides, my name is Ashton. They're like, oh yeah, I don't know you. What do you want? So that's the only other change I would make. Just go, hey, it's Simon. It's just Simon. That's the other reason why I'd cut off the last name too. Again, like they're not going to go, hey, it's Ashton DeLangolunday. How you doing? I'm like, oh yeah, I don't know you. So, and that's the other thing where it also leads to that intrigue, especially in the beginning. Of like, I might know this person if they don't have a last name because if they don't recognize the last name. I'm like, yeah, I definitely don't know this guy. All right. I know we had a few questions in here. Smiling. Okay. I don't know if I'm gonna be dialing today. Wednesdays are extremely busy for me with a bunch of corporate calls. I'm definitely not dialing after this call because I have a hard stop at 9. Yes, it sounds great. Better. Someone had a question here somewhere. I feel like I'm trying to find it. What if they're trying to get rid of you when they answer yes, I found something? Great question. I'll go over that in a second. What are you gonna say? Who? I've been hearing. Okay, you got your hand raised. We'll get that from you in a second. Perfect. Okay, so Sarah, I'll go actually questions over. So, what do they say? I already have coverage. That's going to be one. If you have the script, it's on there. You can follow that. Yeah, I kind of figured. I was just trying to get the system updated here. Have you been getting a lot of calls about this? It tells you what to say. Yes or no. Yeah. Oh, I apologize. Let me get this updated so they stop calling you. Can you get back? Actually, I'm going to change this back into the system. Because I don't like when it says sales department. Me and Kaden disagree on a few wording things. There we go. Yeah, it's like, no, I haven't been getting a bunch of calls. Oh, yeah, they probably have us going through this before they kick back into the system. Those guys are going to start calling like 40 times a day. Let me get this updated for you. Again, like, why do I say it that way? No, I haven't been getting a lot of calls. This is the thing, like, we typically know they are getting a lot of calls. Like, oh, well, let me update this for you so you don't get any more. Oh, okay, thank you, because that's what they want. Well, if they say no, you're like, no, I haven't got a bunch of calls. Oh, what do you say? Oh, well, they probably just haven't put it back in the system yet, which that's how our leads work. You don't make a sale, it goes in the system. Probably just haven't put it back in the system yet. Before let me get this updated for you before they kick it back over there and you start getting like 40 calls a day. If Dylan Crane gets your lead, he's calling you like 80 times a day. So let me make sure to update this before he gets it. So now I'm getting what I want. And I go, oh, okay, yeah. So, okay, so like, what carrier they get you set up with? Oh, Mutual of Omaha. Oh, okay. And how much coverage did they get you? Like, did you get well, if it's mortgage protection seats, like, hey, did you get the entire like 372,000 taken care of, or did you only get part of the house covered? Life insurance is a little bit different. Like, oh, how much coverage did they end up getting you? You just got to ask. And then how much are they charging you a month? Wow, really? Why is it so expensive? And you just walk through that. Now I have Sarah's question. And if that didn't answer it, feel free to type something in the chat and we'll come back to it. I'm going to answer Sarah's real quick, but if it didn't answer it, please let me know. Probably to set that up too. All right. What do you want to say? Who? I was using we don't know each other, but on the agents on your own. There's something better I can say or do. Well, I don't say I'm the agent assigned to your file. Because that can also potentially create resistance. One, again, they know it's a sales call, but then two, at least in the beginning, and then two, um, like you're saying, they could go, I have a file. What file? What are you talking about? What file are you referring to? And then if I had a file at some company, shouldn't I know the person I was dealing with? Like I know the person I deal with at my doctor's office, at the bank, etc. Um, you can unmute. It's okay.
So like saying like they'll be like, who? And I'm like, oh, yep. Sorry, we don't know each other. My name's Sarah. I'm the agent assigned to your request, or I am responding to your request for blah blah blah.
Yeah, so I think if I remember your intro, because I think we went over this, it was, hey, this is John. Yeah, this is John. Hey, John, this is Sarah with Signature Financial Group. I'm the agent that was assigned to your request for mortgage protection for life insurance. I just need to verify your information. Da da da. Right, something like
Mhm.
that.
Yeah.
No, okay, so what is it? Run through it real quick.
Oh, hey, Ashton. This is just Sarah Vanderwist giving you a quick call. I'm the agent assigned to your file. We'll now switch that out, but I'm the agent assigned to your request for, um, life insurance, mortgage protection, what have you. Um, whatever their thing is that they're actually.
I mean, if you were to ask me what I would do,
Mhm.
I would just take that out altogether and just go, oh, like I'm the agent assigned to your da da da. Like, hey, John, yeah, this John. Hey, John, this is just Sarah. I was getting back to you about your request for the life insurance.
Perfect.
You know, if I'm gonna do it exactly that way, that's exactly what I would do. Otherwise, I'd say I'm gonna do exactly like what's on that script.
Yeah.
But
I'm still practicing that script, so I don't want to like
oh,
completely implement
100%.
it. Yeah.
Yeah. And I just get that intro down really nice and smooth. But yeah, that's exactly what I would do with exactly what you have there. I would just like I'm the agent assigned to your da da da. Because again,
Perfect.
like we talked about with like a few other people, it's like, hey, we want to get right to the point.
Hmm.
Because I want to give them enough that gets them intrigued, hooked, and I want an answer from them. So yeah, hey, this is just Ashton. I was getting back to you about that request you made online. Looks like it was like a few days ago. Especially where new leads, it's great. Looks like it was
Hmm.
like a few days ago. Uh, for your request for the mortgage protection information. I just needed to quickly verify some of that information you put online, so we can get you the coverage you're looking for. Or like I said, I like my best question there at the end of, um, quest for the mortgage protection. Were you looking for yourself or coverage on yourself, or was this for a loved one? Because then I'm putting their mind where I want it. Hey, we're continuing the call. I just told you what it was here for. Now here's what we're gonna do on the call.
I did use that yesterday, and every single person that I used that on when I started actually doing it, they were like, if they were at work, they were like, "Oh, I know exactly what this is. Can you please call me at X time?"
Exactly, because the reason, like, because this is the psychological thing of the script. Like, the
Mhm.
script is completely designed around psychology. It's getting them like that's not a normal sales call. What we're doing. This is more of a hey, I'm a conversation. Here's where we are. We're familiar. Boom. That's why this script is made the way it is, and so it's removing a lot of that resistance you're getting where people just click. So absolutely. And I'm glad to hear it. Yeah. Again, like when you ask that, like most people don't just go, hey, here's a question. It's like, hey, do you have time to talk now? Would it be okay? Do you want to have a sale? Would it be okay if I sold you something? Da, da, da. So absolutely. All right, guys. Well, I have a hard stop. Keep it up today, guys. Like I said, make sure to get practice. Um, Warren, the reason is it's familiarity versus I'm some random person introducing myself, so they know immediately that they like this isn't like this is a sales call, not it just increases resistance because they know this is someone they didn't want calling them in the first place. Typically, like that formal introduction. Um, but perfect. All right, guys, have a good day. I gotta assign someone as host. I don't know who to assign. I don't want to shut this down. Or maybe it's all just us.
It's just us. You can shut it down.
Okay.